All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be going over a market watch. So for anyone who might be new to the channel, on the 1st and the 15th of every single month, we do a market watch, see where things are trending, see what cards we need to check out and maybe buy before they get super expensive just to stay on top of the game, right? So today we're going to be doing that. Let me give a quick breakdown so everyone knows what we're getting into. First things first, we're going to be doing the market watch. Of course, that's going to be the overwhelming majority of this video. That will be on TCGplayer.com. Let me ask you guys real quickly, if you don't mind, next time you make a purchase, please use my TCG affiliate link for TCG Player, okay? The link is in my, I'll put it in my comment section, but it's also my general description at all times if you ever need to find it very quickly, okay? So, yeah, so first we're going to be heading over to TCG Player, checking out all the different, the prices and see how things are moving. And then after that, we're going to head over to Limitless TCG to kind of get an idea of how expensive decks are right now in their entirety, right? So that way we can kind of see where this game is trending, like as far as, you know, cost goes. Then we're going to finish off everything with one game on the sim. We got a game of Purple Yellow Pudding versus Purple Yellow Nika Robin. Okay, just a little bit of fun there, right? Okay, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and hop into this game, into this video today. I'll have everything time stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links in the comments section below. Okay, all right, guys, let's do this. So, I guess I can drop my head down a little bit. That's a little too big, huh? There we go. Okay, so now you guys can see. So we're going to start off with the red cards. We're going to be going into TCG Player here and checking out all the prices for the U.S. I know in the past I was doing Card Market a little bit, but we're taking a little bit of break on that, so bear with me, guys. Because one thing I noticed is pretty much every price you see in America, just take $1 off that. That's typically what it was over in the EU, if not like way cheaper. So I know a lot of people might be a little bit bummed out about that, but the prices were just so similar. There really wasn't a huge reason to ever like compare them, because it was always just more expensive in North America than it was in EU. So unless there's some kind of anomaly, you know, you guys tell us about any kind of anomalies down in the comment section below if something comes up like that, right? If something's just way more expensive in Europe than it is over here in North America. Now, let's do this, guys. Let's get into this. First things first, we got red. We've got Goldie Roger. This is a secret rare from OP09. It's going for $4 right now. Guys, I need to make this price guide. Someone's asked me to do this before. I'm going to end up putting something like on the top of the screen at some point, maybe in my next Market Watch video, basically saying this. There's like 3 rules that I've come across on the channel. Okay, if it's a secret rare and it's under $10, you just snap by it. Like if you're someone who is interested in the long term of this game, like you're invested, you like this game, you enjoy playing it, guys, secret rares that are under $10, I feel like they don't stay there for very long unless it is just an absolutely terrible secret rare, right? So I would just snag those when they're under $5, or under $5 for sure, but under $10 secret rare, and it's in the colored pool you run, or it's a type you like, or it's a type you might be interested in the future. Yep, boom, snap decision, just snag those up immediately, right? Okay, so, and in that case, well, and that's one of the rules, right? The other one is if it's a super rare, if it's an SR that's $5 and under, you snag those immediately. And then, of course, for the commons, uncommons, and stuff like that, you just always get those, you know, especially if they're under $5. But if they're under $1, which is typically the case, you just snatch those up. So with that in mind, this Goldie Roger here is an auto buy decision for me. If you don't already have your playset, I mean a playset of Goldie Rogers, I would snag them now, because what's the worst case scenario, guys? Oh man, you know, you only need 2 of them. Like say in the future, a really strong Roger Pirates deck comes out, or just some type of leader that can really capitalize on how powerful this character is. So say something comes out in the future, but you only need like 2 of them, but you bought 4 of them. Well, guess what? If the price goes up, think about it, guys. If this card's going for $4 or $5 now, and the price goes up down the road to like $10, $15, $20 a piece, well, then you just sell the ones you don't need, or you just cash in right then, sell your playset and make money that way. You know, there is very little reason to not buy a secret rare when it's under $5. That's all I'm going to say, guys. Very little reason. Okay, so really good stuff here. Let me go ahead and go down to the bottom. I do like to check out the prices down here for you guys as well, because we don't go over every single card. I try to go over just the biggest movers. But, guys, Shanks at $1, snatch these up immediately. Ben Beckman, Yasop. Okay, that one's obviously not even an SR. It's just a rare. But then Uda, this is fine too. But, guys, Shanks and Ben Beckman, if you plan on playing red in the future, or Red Hair Pirates, or something that anything involving red, you need to snatch these two right here up immediately. Shanks and Ben Beckman at under $2 a card for an SR of this caliber. Yep, we'll go ahead and get our playset now if you don't already have them. I'd recommend that. Sanji as well at $1, and we'll talk about Luffy. I have Luffy coming up in a minute here, the secret rare. But this Sanji, it looks like it's closer to $3 for the market price. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, that's it for these. So I am actually just gonna I'm gonna click on Sanji real quick, guys. This one, yeah, this one's closer to $3. I would snatch these up as well if you plan on playing purple. Okay, so let's go back to where we were. So Goldie Roger though at this price point, go ahead and snag it. I'll try to pick up the pace. Don't worry, guys. I don't want to spend that long on every single card. Silver's Rayleigh, secret rare at around $33. It has dipped a little bit. Do you guys see the trajectory here, the path of this card? It was all the way up to $40. It's down to $33. I still would not buy on this card. Something's wrong with this last 3-month time stamp here. It says only 122 of this card has been sold over a 3-month period. I just severely doubt that only 240 of these have sold ever. Right? I really doubt that. But yeah, something's wrong with the 3-month snapshot here. Let me just say this: this is a decent price for the card, I guess, for what it does. I personally will be waiting. I'm not buying this card at this cost. If it goes up, then I guess I missed an opportunity to get it for $35, but I'm not doing it. I don't pull on the prices when they're this high. I don't think anyone should. I just let them go down in price, guys. Not saying it's a bad card. This is an extremely good card, okay? This Silver's Rayleigh, very strong card, guys. But at $33, it's hard for me to justify that. I would wait. That's just me, but I would wait. Okay, next up we got Monkey D. Dragon. Oh, and one more thing. That was one of the other rules. I guess that's like the fourth rule of what I always say on here, guys. I'm telling you my opinion on card prices. If you need this card, to go play in a tournament and potentially win thousands of dollars in prize support, then you need to buy the card. Hopefully that goes without saying. I've had people get upset with me in the past. They're like, why would you tell people not to buy the card? It's like, guys, it's just my opinion, okay? Chill out. It's just my opinion on the card. If you need it to go win a big tournament, then yeah, go snag it, right? Just go buy it right away. You know, why even look at a market watch if you're about to go play in like some big massive tournament? If you think you can win it with certain cards, you just buy the cards because it could pay off big time. Okay, Monkey D. Dragon here. This is an 8 cost. This one in Rayleigh. These two 8 cost cards in red, they are just juggernauts right now in the format. They are just so good. This card is at $10 right now. I think it is worth buying right now because notice it did go up to like $11, $12 for a while here. And now it's down to the $8 to $9 range. I don't foresee this card going down much in price. Look at how fast this card is moving, guys. 5,400 copies of this card sold in a 3-month window. So just get these now if you don't have them. If you do not have this card, Monkey D. Dragon, I would at least get 2 for now because I think most decks can get away with just running 2 of a card. That's another thing we talk about on the channel, right? The pseudo play sets. I got all these crazy terms I know people get confused with, but some cards like the Goldie Roger we were talking about earlier, this has like what I would call a pseudo play set. You probably only need 1 or 2 of this card. But guys, at $4 a card for the secret rares, you snag 4 of them. You have a full play set in case you ever need that. And then in the future, you'll probably still only need 2, more than likely. And if it ever goes up in price, you make your money right back. You know what I mean? That's the mindset you have to look at with this kind of card right here. Okay, whereas with Silver's Rayleigh buying this card right now, I would not be surprised if they reprinted this card in the future. But hey, do what you gotta do, right? All right, so now back to Dragon. The pseudo play set of this card is really like 2 of them. Most decks will probably only run 2 to 3 of this card. Some might run 4, right? Some might. But I'll say this, I would snag your 2 right now if you need them for $8 because that's not the worst thing in the world. And this thing is so good, it's on the fringe of being a secret rarity power level card. So I think this is worth getting at $8, guys. Let's go and look down at the bottom real quick and see if there's any other cards related we're not going over. Bad Manners Kit Course. This card's up to $250 pretty much, $3 a card. I'd snag these 2, guys. It's a rare from Kingdom of Intrigue. Cards like that, it's kind of like Perona. We're going to look at Blue Perona in a minute. It's a uncommon. Perona is an uncommon from OP01. It's up to like $5 a card. So if you do not have your rare Bad Manner Kit Courses from Kingdom of Intrigue from OP04, I might snag those as soon as possible. I might snag those literally right now. Okay, next up is Edward Newgate, $3 a card. I would get these immediately as well. This is a very high quality SR style card. It's from a starter deck, so even though it's an SR, it's a little bit weird to classify. This card is just good in any red deck, to be honest, in the same way that Rayleigh is. Silver's Rayleigh and Edward Newgate, they're kind of just good in every single red deck, and I'd say Dragon as well. But here's the thing: some people will actually run Edward Newgates over Silver's Rayleigh if they didn't plan on playing a full play set of Rayleigh and they only needed to fill a few spots. And same thing if they didn't have a full play set already of Newgate. But just hear me out, guys. This card's very good. I would snag 4 of these as soon as possible. It's just simply a very good card. just a really, really good red card. Let's see if there's anything else related to this. Yeah, we've already seen these. Same thing with the Ace here. This came in the same starter deck, this Fort Ghosty Ace right here. $2 a card. I'd snag these as well if you need the playset, if you ever plan on playing red. Okay. Next up, we got Zoro, guys. We got green, 9-cost, secret rare Zoro. This card is back up to $27, $28 USD. I don't understand. I don't get it, guys. I'm just going to be honest. Who is playing this card? What deck is just running away with the format that's running this card? You got me. Hey, guys, you got me. I don't know. Same thing with Rayleigh. See, that's my same argument here. It's like, I get it. It's a secret rarity card. But here's the thing. It's very rare. But what deck is running this that is just running away with the format? And it's not Shanks. People might say, well, Shanks is running this, or maybe Marco or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is these cards, this card in particular, Rayleigh and Zoro, I think they're a little overpriced, and I personally think people are just buying them because they're cool looking. They're good looking art, right? Like the art on both of these is incredible. But the thing is, and the cards are very strong. The cards are very strong as like a 2 or 3 of in any deck. But at this price point, guys, I would hold on. That's all I'm gonna say, guys. That's all I can tell you is I personally would hold off on this card. And look at this. This one says 93 copies sold in a 3-month snapshot, and the price is going up. This looks like a classic case of just gouging, unless there's something wrong with the market. And maybe there is. It says 2 items sold all this time ago. Yeah, there might be something wrong with this, just like the Rayleigh one. I'm not sure what's going on with their secret rares, guys, on what's it called, on TCG Player, but it seems like something's not right. But whatever the case is, I would hold off on this card. Okay, next up we have Cavendish. This is one of those where, okay, we've got about 3 more months to see what happens. Or really like 2 months, right? 1.5 to 2 months. Gosh, I got to check, guys. But I think so. OP10's coming out in the not so distant future, right? Probably about in a month to 2 months away for us in the West. And I have to say this right now, guys. If you plan on playing 2 specific decks, okay, I'm going to say it. Well, and there's more. There's more decks than just the 2. But if you plan on playing green, yellow, law, you need to just go ahead and snag the card right now. This is going to be a hard pill to swallow, I have no doubt. But if your main deck is about to become green, yellow, law, yep, you're going to have to go ahead and snag this card immediately. Okay, it is what it is. But if that's going to be your main, this will be the bulk cost of the entire deck, by the way. This one card will be the bulk cost of the entire deck. So at least that's good to know. Like, okay, the deck's probably going to cost like $150 to $200 maximum. I mean, I don't know. It depends. Prices fluctuate, right? And that was just a guess. I don't know how much the new 7-cost secret rare law is going to cost. But like, I would imagine the deck's probably going to go for around $150 to $250, like in that ballpark. Well, this is like the majority of the cost. So if you already have these, you're already sitting pretty, right? Or if you have like 2 or 3 of these where you just have to get like 1 or 2 more, nice. I'd go ahead and just get them now. Just get it over with, guys. Now, it is true that they could very well print out more of these in the future. They could reprint EB01, which everyone hopes they do, or everyone hopes they does, however you say that. Everyone hopes they do that. But here's the thing. I personally would just be careful with this. Now, if you have no interest in playing Green Yellow Law, you just want to play it like as like a side pet deck, then I don't know if I'd use my money on this card. Not saying you can replace the card. It's really a card you can't. It's too perfect for what Green Yellow Law is doing to like neglect. But at the same time, you know, just keep your eye on this one, guys. Keep this one, save this, or however you do it. You know, add to cart and then add to your save list instead of just the cart, and then go from there. What else down here? I do want to look at the Trafalgar Laws real quick if they're not down here. Bonnie, go ahead and snag these immediately as well if you're going to play green, yellow. Eustace Kid, we're going to talk about in a minute. But let me just go ahead and bring up Trafalgar Law. There are 2 cards you need to pick up if you're going to be playing green, yellow. If you plan on playing green, yellow, Supernova, Trafalgar Law, and OP10, go ahead and snag these cards now. Okay, wow, too late on some of these. I mean, not literally too late, because I think I did mention this last time. But check this out, guys. Let me bring up this one. And where's the other one? Where's the I bet it's on the other page. All right, so let's do this one first. $15 right now for this card. I don't know if there's a cheaper one out there. Let me see if we can find the ST02 Let me grab this like this. Hang on, guys. We'll try to find this. I want to get the best one for y'all. Okay, yeah, I think that might be the cheapest one right here, guys. The about $12 or okay, I just went back to Cavendish. What just happened? We messed it up. Let me just type in Trafalgar Law. Okay, so here we were. We're back to where we just were at. So $15 roughly for Trafalgar Law. This is the revision pack card, and this is the starter one that it originally came in. And guys, yeah, this one says $15.30 for the first one, and the other one is saying about $13.95. So maybe this one's actually a little bit cheaper. But whatever the case is, if you plan on playing that deck, this is going to be a very, very important card for Green Yellow Law. Now, let me see down at the bottom real quick. Nice. It shows us the other one. This is the power of reprinting cards, guys. This card is only 30 cents, and this is also a very strong card potentially in Green Yellow Law. But here's the thing. This card was reprinted in PRB, I think it was in PRB 01. This card was reprinted. So guess what? This card is extremely affordable. Hopefully in the future, they're going to reprint the other card we just looked at, this one right here. But for the time being, Cavendish and this card, and then whatever the secret rare Trafalgar Law is going to cost, that's how expensive Green Yellow Law will be. So start really monitoring this price and watching it like a hawk. Okay, next up we got Eustace Captain Kit. Guys, if you play green, you need to have 4 of these. Just go ahead and buy 4 of these immediately. There is, make sure you don't buy a Japanese version. Watch out for these Japanese versions, guys, okay? But hear me out. This card is just too important in green currently. It's just simply too important. I would at least get 3 of these. Two is the bare minimum. So back in the, how do I say this? Before the reprints, this card was like a 2 to 3 of for me, no matter what. Getting 4 was just too many. But I would go ahead and snag your 2, 3 of these right now, maybe even 4, like I was saying, like a full play set. Because I could foresee this card going up in price, even though it was reprinted, just like how Gecko Moria is going up in price. This is just one of the absolute best 8 cost drops for green in the game. It just, I mean, at least currently, at the time you're recording this, this is one of them, guys. I wouldn't take my chances. Snag these as soon as you can. Okay, next up we got Hody Jones. This is another one that was reprinted in PRB 01. It jumped up in price for a while. Check this out, guys. Look, 9,476 copies sold. Just get these immediately, guys. My head was in the way. Well, there we go. Notice this price, or this right here. So many sold. This card jumped up to like $7, $8, $9, $10 for a while there. Now it's all the way back down to $2 after the reprints. Go ahead and just get your full play set. In my personal opinion, or at least what I call the pseudo play set, I'd get 2 or 3 of these just immediately. Just snag them up right now. Let's see if there's anything else related to this. Not really. Carrot, make sure to get this as well if you don't already have it. Carrot's pretty cheap. Shanks, this is another one. This is another... Well, okay, this one, it depends. Are you playing Film or are you playing Supernova? If you're playing Supernova, I'd snag 2 or 3 of these. I would just go ahead and snag them right now, even though they're at $5 for an SR, because they're a starter deck SR, guys. So this is somewhere in between the ballpark of a... like a normal SR and a secret rare, just in terms of like the rarity of it sometimes. That's just how it feels. So I'd snag 2 or 3 of these just right away. Great card. It's popping whatever you need that costs any character that's rested, it will pop it, and it's a 9 cost 11k, but it's only searchable for Film, 4 Emperors, and Red Hair Pirates. So it's not really the greatest Supernova card out there. But I will say this, in EB02, we will get access to the searchers, the 2 cost event searcher, so maybe then it will be worth running. But I would just go ahead and snag what you can of this while it's at this price, because I don't foresee it going down in price. Let me say it like that. Next up is Sanji. Over to the blue cards. So for Sanji, this card exploded in price as soon as the new leader was revealed for the Blurple Straw Hat Crew leader from OP11. This card jumped. Guys, I was begging. I was practically, debasing myself over here saying, guys, please buy this Sanji. Just trust me. Look how, like, way back here, and it was under $10. I'm like, guys, secret rares under $10, we just simply buy those because you never know when this right here is going to happen. I bought mine for, I think, $7 or $8 a card, so I think I got my entire playset for 7 times 4, let's just say 8 times 4, somewhere between the $30 and $40 range for a playset of 4 of them. Right? And it felt bad at the time, right? After taxes and all that, it was around $30 to $40 for the whole play set. It felt a little bit rough. But at the same time, I knew this card had so much potential. And then as soon as it got potential, now it's going $25 a piece. So now if I wanted to, I think about it like this, guys. For the people who do look at it from the investor standpoint with these secret rares, I'm telling you, Okay, I bought these, like I said, for probably about $25 to $30 altogether. It was more like 30. Let's just call it 30, about 30 something dollars after taxes and shipping and all that. Um, Now I can sell each one for almost $30 each, right? So it's one of those things. You have to be really smart about the market. Make sure you're doing things correctly. Now I don't want to sell mine, by the way. Let me just say that. But for those who are invested, or for people who are trying to stay like, on the fringe of like investment and TCG, where you're trying to like balance it, where you can still make some money off of it while playing it. Well, secret rares under $10, just snatch them up, guys. I mean, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. Not all of them. Don't be scalping everybody. Don't be scalping everybody, but y'all get the idea. Jim, let me see one more thing about this card. Let me see what they're saying with it. Marco's up to $8, or it's still around $8. I think it's been there for a while. Make sure to snag your red Marcos if you haven't gotten these already, guys. We're going to talk about Nineland in just a minute, and the rest we've already talked about, or we're going to talk about. Okay, next up is Jinbei. If you plan on playing Doflamingo, so I think there's some, what would you call it, like suspicion in the air. Like, is this leader going to get banned because it's having such a high output at tournaments? I don't know. I don't think it will because it's in a starter deck. I think, if anything, let me say this right now, guys. We don't know what they're going to do in the future, so this is all speculation. This is all conjecture. But if I had to guess, if they were to tone down Blue Dofi, if it does continue to get out of hand, you need to imagine it like this. I know a lot of people would love for the blue law card, the 4-cost law in starter deck 18 or whatever it was. A lot of people would like that card to go, right? And I'm right there with everyone, actually. But here's the problem. That's part of a starter deck. So I think from a logistical standpoint, I think that card is very safe. Let me say that. I think they would ban the leader before they ban... Well, no, see, that's part of the starter deck as well. So hear me out, guys. This is where I was going with all this. This would probably be the card. I'm not saying it's the right call, but if they were to do something to put Dofi into check, it would probably be by restricting a card like Jinbei. I seriously doubt they would restrict a card like Trafalgar Law, unless, who knows, maybe they restrict it down to a 2 of, because it only comes as 2 in the starter deck. Maybe that's something they could do in the future. I don't know. And we don't know if they're going to do anything. So, guys, please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. We're just trying to make some predictions. We're just trying to anticipate what could happen in the future. So, but this card at $10, I would go ahead and snag Jinbei at the $10 range. I do think it's a good price point. Because it is a very powerful card, right, guys? It is a very strong, very, very powerful card. ST17, that's what it was, not 18. ST18, I think, was purple. ST19 was black. ST20 was yellow. Yeah. So this is the law we were talking about. We're going to go ahead and click on this card real quick. Yeah, this card right here, Trafalgar Law. This card is an absolute monster. I personally think it should not have been printed the way it was, but I'm not here to complain about it. I'm just trying to tell you guys, if they were to do any kind of bans or restrictions in the future to tone down a deck like Blue Dofi, if they think it's getting out of hand, there are 3 cards I think they would hit before they hit Blue Dofi, or anything in that starter deck. I think it would be Jinbei, I think it would be Pudding, and I think it would be the Perfume Femur. Perfume Femur, on the other hand, let me hit back real quick because it was at the bottom down here. That card came out in OP07, and it's just a very cheap event. So it's one of those things where they could kind of save face in that regard, if they did have to do any kind of things like that. But who knows if they will or not. So don't quote me. I'm just saying that's the speculation going around in my mind on that topic. So Perona, this card's at $5. I would just get this card, guys. I'm sure they will reprint this card eventually. I don't know if they will or they won't, but if I had to guess, they will, because this is an uncommon that came out in OP01 that's costing $6. And let's be honest, guys, this is not a card that will ever go away unless they ban this card, which I seriously doubt they would ever do. This card is just like an evergreen, incredible blue card, right? It just never dies, right? It's just a great blue card to have access to. Little 1-cost top 5 setter with a 1K counter on it, and it's Thriller Bark Pirates, so who knows, any Thriller Bark Pirate stuff in the future, it'll be able to use this. It just has a lot of potential. So really good card. I would snag these now. They're still at the $5 range. Just in your mind, if you have to, just convince yourself that this is an SR. Even though it's an uncommon, I would just convince myself this is an SR because it's worth getting the card now, if you don't already have it. Love Mellow. This is one of those cards I kept forgetting for the longest time. I bring it up at the end of every video. This card is just one of those super rare cards now where it had limited printing, I guess, and it had, like, notice this one's errated. So, like, there's, like, all kinds of stuff with this card to look out for. But it is a 7 Warlords of the Sea card that came out in ST03. And then when they reprinted ST17 with, like, the blue 7 Warlords theme, This card was not in there. So it was only in the ST03 starter deck and the reprint pack. So this card's actually pretty limited in rarity, and this is the card that goes in any blue Nami list. So, okay, you know, make sure to watch this one, guys. Use your own discretion here, but be monitoring this one. Okay, over to purple, guys. We got purple cards now. How are we doing on time? We're good. Okay. Just making sure I'm not taking too long, right, guys? I can. You guys know I can just start yapping. I'm trying to keep this at a decent pace for everybody. So we're done with red, green, and yellow. Red, green, and blue. Now we're on to purple. We're on the second half of the cards here. This card right here, I would just simply snag it. It's a secret rare under $5. Notice this, guys. It jumped up to $6, went down, jumped up to $6 more, went down. I would just get it over with. If you don't have your playset of this card, I would just go ahead and get it over with. Just snag the card. Just get it, guys. Secret rare under $5 or right around $5. Yep. Immediately for any secret rare under $10, I get my full playset immediately. But this card at this price seems good. We'll take it. Let's see if this recommends any other cards. Okay, we are going to talk about Sanji in a moment, and we're going to talk about this Luffy. Frankie's super cheap. Make sure to get this card immediately. Gum Giants are cheap right now. Same thing with Trafalgar Law. This Sanji's starting to get a little bit up in price. Remember we talked about that back when we were just talking about red cards. I would snag your Sanjis now, though. The Gum Giants are good. I could foresee this Sanji. We will talk about this one more time now that we're actually on purple. I can foresee this card right here literally becoming purple's version of like what 5-cost Nami is for yellow, right? The 5-cost, or even Rocket Boots Luffy. This is just a very high value, very good, you know, versatile purple card. So I would snag these now while they're under $5 still, because I do foresee these going over $5 in the future. Potentially, you know, we'll see what happens, but I'm pretty sure they will. Okay, Monkey D. Luffy here. This is a secret rare, $17 currently. Looks like it's going down actually. Like so, here's $15 to $17. And if you notice this, it was like $37 on release. Be so careful, guys. Please do not buy as soon as the release is for some of these secret rares. It is dangerous. I mean, I guess it is a gamble because what if the card had actually gone the other direction? But guys, I would just wait on these because. Look at this. This one's all the way down to 16. I can foresee this one dropping down further and further. This one for me is almost like the purple version of what the red Goldie Roger is. Not in terms of the same exact power level. They're very different in what they do, but they're also not cards you want 4 of typically. I feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy about that. I'm not exactly sure. The card is selling very well at around 4,700 copies sold in the past 3-month period, and that's not even a full 3-month period. It looks like. Because look at this, guys. It's only been since December. So the card is selling very well. But at the same time, I don't see this card hitting the prices of like, where's he at? Goldie Roger. Or Goldie. I meant to say Silver's Rayleigh. But I guess Goldie Roger, you know, this is, you know, super cheap. I don't foresee, oh gosh, I got to find it now. Here we are. I don't foresee this card going as cheap as Goldie Roger. But I also don't see it like going as high as Silver's Rayleigh. So, you know, make your own choice on this one. I personally, I'm going to wait for these to go down in price, then I'll snag mine for under $10, hopefully at some point. Black Maria, please just go ahead and buy this card. It already survived a round of bans. Like when Red Purple Law was banned, that was the time for this card to be banned if it was going to be banned. And it was not banned, and I'm glad it wasn't. You know, I'm not saying it should have been. But this card, let's check this out over a six-month window, because that's about how long it's been out. Over 11,000 copies sold. I'd go ahead and get this. It's still under $5, but look at this, guys. It kind of flirted around the $5 range for a while. Maybe it'll stay here. Maybe it'll stay at the $5 range. But I wouldn't take any chances. If you don't already have these and you plan on playing purple or anything like Animal Kingdom Pirates or something like that, I would just go ahead and pick these up now. Okay, let's see what else is recommended. The Porsche, if you're going to be playing Reiju, go ahead and snag these. Reiju is the cheapest I've ever seen. You might as well get these immediately. If you don't have a full playset of Reiju and you plan on playing purple in the future or anything Vinsmoke family, absolutely get that card immediately. And then we got a few others here. Yeah, those are just super cheap. Okay. All right, next up we got Lin. All right, we got to talk about Lin, guys. Same idea. Same idea as Rocket Boots Luffy, Gecko Moria, 5-cost Nami, the yellow 5-cost Nami. Those cards sit between like $6 and $10. That's where I see the purple 7-cost Sanji and purple 9-cost Lin sitting at. So at $5, I would absolutely snag these cards as soon as possible. Okay, guys, I would just get these as soon as humanly possible. Because this card, I think, at $5 is like a steal. This is another one where it's like, this might as well be a secret rare for how powerful the effect is, right? And I would go ahead and snag these. And this thing, okay, this thing's been out now for around, since September, 11,500 copies sold. So same idea with Black Maria, right? But this one's doing the opposite as Black Maria. This one started off expensive, I guess, $5 at pre-release, but look at this. It was down to $1 and $2. And now look at this. It's going up. It's going up. It's going up. Okay. And it does kind of fluctuate, obviously, but look at Black Maria. It didn't do the same thing. It started up and just kind of stayed around here. Well, I don't know. This one, I guess maybe it might do the same, but I actually think this card will become more expensive than Black Maria unless something crazy gets revealed in the future that changes all that. Okay, let's see what else is recommended from here. We're about to talk about Sanji. Okay, we talked about the others. Eustace Kid, this card is very cheap and very useful. If you're playing purple, go ahead and snag these. Same thing with the 7-cost Luffy Taro, and it'll probably show, yeah, the 4-cost Zoro Juro. Just go ahead and grab this one as well. You know, now this card, I'm glad we looked at this because we weren't even about to talk about this. I did not even see this, guys. Uso Hachi from ST. Let me see something real quick. Let's go ahead and just do this. Is this like a special version? No, this is the version, I think. Okay, if you do not have these, this is part of Starter Deck 18. This is a very useful 2K counter, no matter what you're playing. Not just, it's good in Straw Hat Crew too, but this is good, period, right? This is on play if you have 8 or more Dawn cards in your field. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 8 or less. So any purple deck can run this 2K counter. It is a 3-cost, 3,000 power 2K counter, and it's costing about $7. Get these immediately, guys, if you don't already have your play set. I would get these immediately if you don't already have your playset, guys. Because with these starter deck cards, you never know how expensive they're going to get, and we're going to look at like I think we're going to look at ST07, like 7-cost Lin later. I mean, even though this is this is like a common quote unquote, it's not one of the SR slots, or is this one that only comes as a 2 of in the deck? I wonder if that's why it's so expensive. There's like 2 SRs per starter deck that come as 2 ofs in each starter deck. Everything else comes as a 4 of, except one other card. Maybe this is the one other card that only comes as a 2 of in the starter decks. But I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm not exactly sure. But whatever the case is, I'd get your playset as soon as possible. Because, guys, hear me out. With the new Blurple, spoiler, quick little spoiler, guys. Skip past about 30 seconds if you don't want to hear this. But there's a new Blurple Straw Hat leader for Luffy coming out, and a new 8-cost blue secret rare Luffy coming out. You're going to be able to do tricks where you tap down their guy with the Uso Hachi, and then you swing in with the effect of your 8-cost Luffy. Pull back your Uso Hachi because you already rest their character down anyway, and you're coming in for 9, and you get all the value from that, all the value back from that, without having to give them a card back to hand. Absolutely incredible. Keep your eye on this card, guys. I would get this as soon as possible if you need it. You don't already have it. Okay, Sanji, I've been saying it with this card, guys. It's just simply been going up in price. I've been telling people for a long time to get this. This is one of those insanely good SRs. Where, I mean, like let's see this over the past 6 months. Yeah, 10,000 sold, 16,000 sold over time, like since it came out. Just a great card. Everyone's going to want this in any kind of purple deck they're running, whether it be a some type of Dawn manipulation deck or a Straw Hat deck or what. This is just an incredible 2K counter to have. 6 cost, 6,000 power, 2K counter body, and it can be as low as 3 Dawn if you're running a deck that can go backwards in Dawn. It's getting expensive, guys. Keep your eye on it. Next up is Brook. So now we're on to the black cards. Okay, and let's go ahead and get through. I'm going to try to get through these quickly because these have not moved in a long time. Brook is still in the $30 range. No way I'm buying this card at this price, guys. I don't recommend anyone do it. Ever since the card's been out, it's only sold about 5,000 copies, it looks like. No, about 10,000. It's been out for that long. That's I forgot how long EB01's been out, but over a 1-year period and not even an entire full year, it's already sold 10,000 copies. And that's at this extremely high price, guys. Because look, the cheapest this card ever was like $3. But look, it went up to $10 over a month period, and then just kept growing and kept going up and up and up. It's sitting at the $28 range. I would wait to hear about reprints on this card. I don't foresee them not reprinting this card, but who knows, guys? EB01 was an absolute disaster. It was a total, it was insanity. So you're going to have to use your own discretion on this one. I don't have good enough advice to give you. Sabo, same thing here. This thing missed its reprint potential, so that's why it jumped up to the $20 range. This is used in any black-yellow Luffy deck, and it can be run in any black deck, to be honest. And in most decks, I think it's really like a 2 of, like, a pseudo playset of 2 to 3 of this card would be all you need. I think I've even seen decks run 1 to 2 of this card, like literally a 1 of in the deck. So for that, at that rate, I think the $22 price is probably not too crazy if you just need one of them. But if you're trying to get a play set, you're trying to play Black Yellow Luffy, yeah, that's rough, right? Like, that's actually really rough. I'd be careful with that. I'd keep your eye on it. But the scary part about this card is it missed the window for it to be reprinted when they did the PRB sets. Because this was an OP04 card, so it was in Block 1, so you'd think it would get reprinted in the first PRB01. Now, who knows? They could reprint in the future. I have no idea how they're going to do it, but we have no indicator of that currently. So at $20 for this card, the only way I'd really pull the trigger on snagging this card immediately is if you plan on playing Black Yellow Luffy for the foreseeable future. Because, hey, Black Yellow Luffy is another one of those decks that just, it runs 4 of these, and it just kind of, it keeps evading any kind of, like, ban or restriction on, like, Gecko Moria. So, yeah, why not snag these now, I guess. Next up is Rebecca. This card's $5 a card. I would just get these immediately if you're playing black in the future. Definitely grab your Jacks as well. Let's see what else. Rob Lucci, Kuzan, Rebecca. Hina's about $7 a card right now, guys. It might be worth keeping your eye on that if you plan on playing. Borsalino as well. I think Borsalino's way down in price. We will at least look that up. Borsalino. Borsalino, I'd go ahead and snag these as well. Yeah, $2, $1 card. $1 for the reprint, $2 for the normal one. I'd get these immediately. If you plan on playing any kind of black, anything black in the future, or especially anything navy, grab your Borsalinos, grab your Kuzans. Rebecca's just a good card to have as well. Not even necessarily just in navy, just in general. And yeah, good stuff. Okay, next card. Next up, we got Gecko Moria. So this is a $6 card right now. It fell all the way down to $3 and $4 range when the reprints came out, and it's all the way back up to $7. And guys, let me just we're gonna check real quick. Let me type in Gecko Moria. I just want to see how many, if it shows the difference. That's weird. It doesn't show the different ones. Am I crazy, guys? Maybe I'm not seeing it. But okay, well, whatever the case is, here we go. This is what you can buy on TCG Player, because I think there was Gecko Moria from OP06 and then the reprint, right? And the reprint could have even been different. Could have been other things, right? It could have been like, wasn't there like the different foiling and stuff? I don't know. Whatever the case is, this card's about $6 a pop. I'd snag these as well. This card is good enough to be in secret rarity pricing, so I would go ahead and snag this immediately. Jack, we already talked about that. Go ahead and get these. And the Kaido. Let's see if they show Kaido. Yeah, Kaido's under $1. Blackbeard or Marshall D. Teach is under $1. Go ahead and get, or right at $1, whatever. Go ahead and get that immediately if you don't have it and you already need it. Oh, another card. Forgot to talk about Shigan Finger Pistol. I totally forgot about adding this one. This card is seeing a lot of play right now in Blackbeard and Marshall D. Teach. It looks like it's going to be a very, very good card. And guess what set this came from? EV01. Guys, the starter decks in this EV01, they hurt so much of the cost of some of these cards. But whatever the case is, go ahead and get these now if you don't already have them. This card has jumped way up in price. Or if you have them and you don't need them, maybe now is the time to sell. You know, wink, wink, now might be the time to sell. Okay, moving over to the yellow cards, we got Portgosti Ace. This is the secret rare. This card has shot up in price. I would not buy this card right now, guys, unless you need it for something very immediate to try to win money in a big tournament. Because I don't know if we will run 4 of these cards in the new NL. So, let me explain real quick, guys. I think a lot of people are running this card. I mean, this is probably running quite a few different decks, like maybe Nico, Robin randomly. Any yellow deck can just randomly run this card. Maybe I don't even know, guys. I'm trying to think of like some deck that might run this card. Whatever deck might run this card. I'm sure there's a few of them. But I think a lot of the hype over this card right now is jumping up from the new 10 cost in Nell that was just spoiled in EB02. But I'll say this, guys. I have a version that I just showed off, I think yesterday. At the time of recording this video, I believe yesterday's video was a video on an L, and I'm not even running this card in there. It's totally unnecessary. Now, maybe there might be a tournament version that wins with the card in the future. I don't know. We have to see what happens. But I'll tell you right now, guys, the deck feels very strong even without it, because you still have your 8, 9, 10 curve in NL if you don't run this card and you run the new NL. Because your 8 cost spot is still going to be Katakuri, your 9 cost is still currently Yamato, and then your 10 cost is, instead of being this card, which is what NL used to run, I think it will be the new 10 cost NL. So me personally, I would not be snagging this card right now unless you need it for something very specific. Okay, really good card though. Let me go down to the bottom real quick and see what some of their related cards are. All right, we're going to talk about Shirahoshi in a minute. Frankie, definitely get this as soon as you can. I think we're going to talk about all these other 3. We're going to be talking about every one of these cards except Yamato. Go and grab Yamato as well, guys, if you don't already have your playset and you plan on playing yellow. And we'll talk about the rest. Gadatsu's super cheap right now. Grab those as well. Okay. Could y'all even see that? Let me see. Was my head in the way? No, y'all can see it. Okay. All right, next up is Katakuri. This card has been reprinted. Go ahead and get these. Now, this card I would get as soon as possible. It's a secret rare. There was a chance down here, guys, to get it for $10, $15 a card. But now it's jumping up $15 to $20 a card. So you got to be careful with this. Or I guess really around the $15 mark. That was a little bit hyperbolic of me, right? I was exaggerating a little bit there. But hear me out. I would snag this card as soon as possible because I do not foresee this card. This card has already been reprinted. Understand that right away, guys. Understand that in your mind. This card has already been, like, mass reprinted, quote-unquote, in PRB01. I would snag the full play set of this card as soon as possible because, hey, it already went down to $10. Now it's already climbing back up to $15. And just to put that in perspective, guys, you might be thinking, like, yeah, you know, that, like, maybe that won't, you know, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Just hear me out. This card was reprinted as well, and it's sitting down in the $3 range, okay, because it's not used as much as Katakuri. So I would not assume that, first of all, get this card. I totally forgot to say this in the black cards. If you do not have a playset of Kuzans, I know it's like some people think this card is a meme, but you can buy a full playset of them right now for like $10, probably like $15 after tax, guys. Look at this, $10 to $12, probably $15 to $20 after tax for a full playset of these. I would go and scoop these up like immediately. Here, oh, here's another good one, guys. Look at this. I'm glad we went down this rabbit hole, down this tangent here, or went off on this tangent. Yamato, under $5, a secret rare. I would snag this so fast your head would spin. Like, I would get these so quickly, guys. I'm just saying. But yeah. Okay, let's keep going. What I was saying, though, just to finish out there about Katakuri. So this is Katakuri that we were just talking about. Let me see. This one says 8, and this one says 12. So this is the original one. Let's look at the original one real quick. Yeah, that one stayed around the $12 mark and went up to, it's up to about 17. Well, it fluctuates wildly, actually, guys. Look at this, 13, 15. It all depends on the shipping. But then if we go back and we look at the other one from PRB, the reprint, this one's at $15 as well. So I just wouldn't take any chances. I'd get this card as soon as possible, guys. I would get it immediately. Okay, Charlotte Flampe, this card right here. This is a, yeah, this card's gone up in price. So this is probably now officially the most expensive rare in the game. I mean, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't looked at every rare. But, guys, it's an EB01 card, Charlotte Flampe, and they just released another leader, another quick little spoiler. I'll just say this. It's a blue-yellow leader that's been spoiled for OP11 that might get a lot of value out of this card. Like, it might turn this card into a one-cost draw 3. Okay, just hear me out, guys. So, yeah, I've been telling you guys to get this card for a while now. I'm sorry if you missed your chance on it. Hopefully they reprint it in the future. I always hope they reprint these cards in the future, guys. Oh, sure, Hoshi. Let's look at this real quick, guys. This is Starter Deck 07, or excuse me, Starter Deck 08. $2.50 for this card. I might want to snag. You might want to snag this card as well while we're at it, guys. You might want to snag this card as soon as possible if you plan on playing black in the future, or if you're just trying to get your play set of stuff. Kingdom Come, we already talked about Enel a little bit. Enel's seeing a little bit of, it's picking up a little bit of steam, so this card has gone up and up and up in price because, oh, what do you know? This is an EV01 card. I really, really hope they reprint this stuff, guys. I totally forgot to go over Laboon. I totally forgot to go over, what's his name? Mr. 2 Bancre Bentham. Look at this, guys. Mr. 2 Bancre Bentham is sitting around $45. We talked about Brook. I'm not talking about any alt art. Sorry, guys. Even this red Tony Chopper, $18 a card. Laboon, $19 a card. Guys, please be careful with these prices and snag what you can while you can. I don't know if these are going to be reprinted. Viola's around $7 a card. Flampe, we already talked about. Kid and Killer, surprisingly super low again. I thought Kid and Killer and Flampe were just going to be these, and even Edward Weevil. I thought these three rares from EB01, I thought they were just going to be insane in price. I can't believe how low price Edward Weevil is for being EB01. Miss Wednesday, I mean, guys, let me just tell you this right now. If you just go to EB01, I would go through all of these cards, and I would get every single one that you need that is affordable right now, because you just don't know when a card's going to pop off. Like, what if people are going to laugh, I don't care. What if a purple Baroque Works leader pops off in the future? Guys, I already think Purple Yellow Crocodile, I think is actually going to be pretty decent in OP10. Because we can now redirect attacks to Basil Hawkins or Kikinojo. So, like, getting Miss Wednesday from there, I would just snag that as soon as you can. Let me look at one more page at least. Yeah, it looks like that's probably it for the big cards to look out for from EB01. Yeah, that's crazy, guys. We definitely have to keep an eye on all this stuff. Like, I try to look at all these if we can, but you know, we'd be going over cards all day, right? We'd be we'd be looking at cards all day if we went over every single card in the game. Okay, next up is Shirahoshi EB01 as well, $22. It's just an incredible yellow blocker. This is going to be a staple, I'm sure, in NL. I think NL and EB01 or OP11, whatever, EB02 and OP11 NL is OP10 EB02 NL is probably going to be absolutely incredible, right? And this is like the perfect 2-drop for that deck. So, yeah, it's being bought out very quickly. You know, people are definitely going for this card. How much was Laboon? Actually, I didn't look at Laboon. Laboon is going for around $20 a card. Okay, I actually do remember going over that now. I think we at least looked at it. So $20 for Laboon. Yeah, this card, Shirahoshi, I'd snag this as soon as you can, but at the same time, maybe wait to hear if they're going to reprint EB01. Maybe that's something that'll happen in the future. I do not know. This one's up to your discretion, guys. Can't help you there. I can't really help you on that stuff. I don't know how to say it. That's why I just say to get these cards as soon as you can when they're super cheap. Next up is Luffy. This is what they call Rocket Boots Luffy. This card's around the $9 to $10 range right now. Yep, I'd snag it. I would snag this card, guys, as soon as I could. Because it's just a good card. Hiyori, same thing. Get this as soon as possible. Just snatch these up, guys, because especially if you plan on playing yellow or anything to do with, like, I mean, because even Black Yellow Luffy was running this card, right? I don't know if they still are with any of the new current versions or versions going into OP10 and EB02, but this is just a great utility 2K counter. It's Land of Wano, so it might get some love in the future. You never know. And it's just a good card. And with the new card that was spoiled, the blue-yellow one I was referring to earlier with Flampe, yeah, I'd go ahead and snag this, you know, because it could be very good in that deck. Nami, $8 a card. It's worth every penny. This is probably the strongest card in yellow. At least in my personal opinion, this is just like the strongest card in yellow. I think it does so much heavy lifting for the deck. It makes so many decks possible that I don't even think would be without this card. But yeah, great card. Snag it as soon as you can. And then You're the One Who Should Disappear. This is another one with Sky Island and Enel and like even Calgara getting a resurgence. Like people talking about how good the new Enel will be in Calgara. I'd grab this as well. Kikinojo, Frankie, Onami, all of these cards you see down here, guys. I would just get all of these that you can. Capone Gang Beige, Gadatsu, and Nico Robin while it's cheap, but that's just a rare. Okay, now one more I almost forgot is the Lin. Let's check out Lin. So here we go, guys. I had a feeling. I didn't even look at these guys, but I had a feeling. So the ST7. I keep looking at ST and 10, and I just kept messing everything up there in my brain. Charlotte Lin for ST07 is up to $18 again. Will this card ever be reprinted? Who knows? But this is a card I was saying to snag while it was still super cheap, guys. I'm not the kind of person to be like, told you so. I don't like doing that. I'm not that kind of person. It's not my type. It's not my like personality type. But I try to help guys as much as I can. And this card has gone up and up and up and up and up and up in price. So go ahead and grab this. If you haven't gotten it already and you plan on playing anything yellow. I will say this, though. I don't know what this is being run in. This is probably going to be in that blue-yellow deck we've been talking about because it does either gain you a life or make your opponent lose a life, and then you draw a card. So that was a little bit of a spoiler, I know, but just hear me out, guys. This card will be very good in that deck, potentially. Who knows? You know, maybe there's going to be a lot of Blackbeards in the format that just shut on-play effects down. But whatever the case is, this card has a lot of potential in the deck we talked about. Okay, now let's go over to the Tinlin. This is one of my absolute favorite cards. Such a strong card. It's around the $10 range. It's been sitting around there for quite some time now, guys. Going anywhere from like what, $8 up to $14. Yeah, $10. Just snag it, guys. If you don't already have this card, I'd snag it. I would get this right away. Okay. Okay, and one more card. I'm so glad we saw this at the very end. I almost forgot about this card. This is a purple card. But guys, Kaido and Linlin, it's another secret rare. Just get it. Just get the card, guys. If you don't have it and if it ever becomes a very strong card, this is one of those that'll probably just blast off in price. If this makes its way into even just one winning list, it could just explode in price, guys. So I would make sure to get your hands on these as soon as you can. $3.50 for a secret rare. Okay, that's it for that, guys. Okay, let's head over to tcgplayer.com. If I missed any big moving cards, guys, please say something down in the comments section below. Okay. All right, so now we're over to TCG, or excuse me, now we're over to Limitless TCG. So that was TCG Player. Now we're over to Limitless. We're going to check probably about 7 or 8 really, really high-level decks and see what the cost is. The cost has gone up a little bit, guys. We have to talk about it. So OP09, this is Black Yellow Luffy, got 3rd place in at a championship finals Melbourne by Big Potatoes, their name. Well, this one's still around $245. I think it was already around $200 to $250, so not too bad. The big part of this deck cost is in this Sabo. Flampe's gone up there a bit too, but everything else, Luffy's kind of whatever. But yeah, that's Viola's even in here as a 2-of, guys. Very nice, spicy tech card. I saw someone playing this at locals last night. Okay, let's keep going. I'm trying to do this in a pretty quick fashion here. Doflamingo, here's a first place Dofi list by Jasper Zoisia. Hopefully I didn't butcher that name. I'm sure I did, but here we go. This deck's around $150, $40 for the Jimbei, $15 for the Weevils, and $12 for the Boa Hancock, $14 for the Buggies, $23 for the Peronas. So the Perona and the Jinbei is like around half the cost of this deck, and everything else is pretty easy to afford. So really good stuff here. I'd snag, you know, if you're trying to get into this game on a budget, this is one of those decks that I highly recommend, guys. Hop right in on this. And this is for a top tier deck. Understand that, guys. Like it just got first place at a at that region we just saw. What was it, Melbourne? Championship in Melbourne. It got first place. It's like a regional level tournament. Lucci. I don't see many people playing Lucci anymore, but we're still going to check this 8th place list out from Melbourne from this guy Poe YDW. POE YDW, $213 is really not that bad. Rebecca and Sabo, Gecko. Like, look, here's a list right here, guys. I think I was saying this earlier. It runs 1 Sabo. That's all it needs is just a single Sabo. So if you only need 1 Sabo for your list at $20, that stinks, right? No one wants to pay that, but that's really not too bad. Brook being half the cost of the deck. Half of the cost of this deck is 1 card. You hate to see it, but still a $215 deck. That is a very high level top tier deck. Yeah, it's worth considering. Okay, next up, let's go through Bonnie here. Here's a 13th place list at that championship, or excuse me, this is at Mexico City, the championship finals here, 13th place by David Alejandro Hernandez Valdez. They got this list working for under $200, guys. So this is a very strong list, and it runs the 4 Cavendish. The 4 Cavendish is over half the cost of the deck. So for the time being, maybe try to run the 5 cost carrots if you can't run it. Not this carrot, guys. Sorry, the 2K counter 5 cost carrot or Uruj that stands down at the end of turn. If you can't afford the Cavendish, that's your next best bet. It's not as good as Cavendish. Understand that, guys. Cavendish is as good as it is, you know, it's different. This card is extremely good. But if you can't afford it, there is a 5 cost carrot that I would try to find. In the place of it, it's a 2K counter. Okay. All right, so that was Bonnie and Nell. So, okay, I'm just warning you guys, you know, everybody, make sure you're seated when you see the cost of this deck. I can pretty much promise you it will not be cheap. I can pretty much promise. I don't know. I haven't checked, but here we go. So this is the finals. This is from the championship in Melbourne by Wally, 15th place, $440. Outrageous, way too expensive. This needs to be fixed immediately. Immediately. $90 on Shirahoshi, $66 on Katakuri, which is actually not even unbearable for what the card does, but $135 on this ace. So hear me out. This is what I was saying. Oh, Kingdom Come, $18. You're the one who should disappear, $14 for the full play sets. Yeah, this is crazy, guys. But let me say this right now. And it's nice. It is running the 2 cost or the 7 cost. It's running 2 of the 7 cost in L's as well. Very nice. The Nami. Yeah. So real quick, guys, understand this. For EB02, there's a new 10 cost card coming out that will probably take $135 off this deck, and that would still keep it expensive. That would drop it into the $300 range if you get rid of all these aces and go up that card. If it's going to be probably around as cheap as I think it will. Hopefully it'll be cheap. We'll see how EB02 is on the printing, but that should take a lot of the price off the top. But we'll see what happens. This is the most expensive deck in the game. It's a Nell. We already know what to expect. Okay, next up we have Purple Luffy. This is another deck that I typically will recommend to new players, to beginners. This is from Melbourne as well, 5th place by Double Rainbows. This one right here, it's $290, but watch this, guys. There's a nice little hack you can do to cut the price in half of this deck, even more than half. Or actually, no, right around half of it. You get rid of this card. You don't have to run 3 Mr. 2 Bond Parade Benthams. You can just run Basil Hawkins. There's a 4-cost purple Basil Hawkins. It's an Animal Kingdom Pirate card that ramps a Dawn as well. It's not as good as this card. I understand people go crazy about that, but just hear me out. I would just run it over this card because it still has a 4-cost body. It's a 4-cost 1K, or actually I think it's a 4-cost 2K body with a 1K counter. On play, ramp a Dawn, it comes in rested. It doesn't come in as active, but it also has a trigger to play the card. So it does have like one benefit over Mr. 2 Bond Crate Bentham, but then it also has one disadvantage. It has 2 disadvantages over him as well. And that is the fact that when you attack, you can't match the power of a character, and you also don't get the Dawn in play active. So again, this is a very good card, but you can very easily make a substitution over this card and take $140 off the top of the deck and drop to a $150 deck. Okay. What else? So Nami, this one's always cheap, but okay, it looks like there were 2 OP09 results for Nami at Melbourne. 24th place here. Let's look at this list. $60 for the list. And again, over half the price is these Love Mellows that we were looking at earlier. Yeah, but hey, $60 for a deck, that's like Pokemon range. That's cheaper than a lot of Pokemon decks, guys. This is a really good starter deck in terms of cost, but not really in terms of play style. If you're a newer player and you're trying to get into the game and just looking for the cheapest deck, I do not think I would do Nami. This is an alternate win condition. Make sure you pause real quick and read this card. It's kind of hard to see over here, but just understand, look the card up. It's an alternate win condition deck. It's a little weird to play, but it's not a bad deck. It's a very good deck. It got what was this? It got 24th place at a regional, right? So very, very strong. And that was my random Dutchman. Okay, did I say who did the purple one? Yeah, Double Rainbows. I think I went over all the other names. Okay, we'll check one more with Yellow, with Wally. Yeah, okay, we're good. I always like to at least say people's names when we get to them. We're not going over this Luffy whatsoever. Red Shanks we will go over. Here's a first place list from Mexico City by Nestor Ivan Rivera Espinosa. Let's go ahead and check this out. $250 list. So let me say that right now before we even go any further. It looks like the average price of a one-piece top-tier deck right now is in the ballpark of $150 to about $250. So right under $300. So remember, we're not going to count $70 Nami, and we're not going to count $430 Enel. Those are on the far extremes of the spectrum. It looks like the average is somewhere between $150 to $250 for a very high level competitive one-piece deck. $142, by the way, of this deck is this one card. So if you took this card out and put in, is it running Newgates? So here you go, guys. If you take out 2 Silvers Rayleigh and put in 2 Edward Newgates, and then add 2, I don't know, just add 2 of whatever else you want to. Maybe even add in 2 of the, is he running Building Snake? I don't think he's running Building Snake unless I'm just not seeing it. Yeah, maybe just add 2 Building Snakes, and then you can pop bigger targets with your Newgates or your Ben Beckmans on an 8 Dawn play, right? Because Silver's, and by the way, I'm not saying they fully replace Rayleigh. I'm just saying for the time being, for a budget purpose, you could easily do that. Silver's Rayleigh is an 8-cost play that goes, pop a 6K and then make someone else minus 2,000 power usually, or minus 3,000 depending on how you could swing it. But here's the thing. If you replace Silver's Rayleigh with 2 more Newgates, well, that's popping a 5K on average, right? Beckman's popping a 6K on average. And then if you replace the other 2, so minus 2 Newgates to go up 2 Newgates, or minus 2 Rayleighs to go up 2 Newgates, and then minus 2 of the other Rayleighs to go up 2 Building Snakes, well, now your Beckman's hitting a 9 on 8. On your 8 Dawn turn, right, you're going to be able to hit, where's he at? There he is. On your 8 Dawn turn, you're going to be able to hit some big targets, or even maybe go up another Monkey D. Dragon. So maybe that's actually the better call here, is if you cannot afford Silver's Rayleigh, just go down 1 Silver's Rayleigh for 1 Dragon, go down 2 more Rayleighs for 2 Newgates, and then you have 1 open spot to put it wherever you want to. Maybe go up another 2K counter Lime Juice, another Lucky Roo. You have a lot of options. And that would take $140 off the list, or about $120 off the list. Okay, so that was Nestor. Let's go to the next one. So that was Shanks. We will look at Smoker real quick just to see, because there's a 15th place out of Booster Box Online Treasure Cup by this guy named Insults. About $240. Okay, let's keep going. So I just want to get an average now from all these. Let's see how Blackbeard's doing. 13th place by Joffrey Bieber. Joffrey Bieber with a $130 deck list, over 100 guys. Almost all of this deck is in Laboon alone. So this might actually be, look at this, guys. Other than Finger Pistol and Laboon, this entire deck list is under $30, right? I mean, like well under. It's like however much this card costs, like it's like $25. So make sure to keep that in mind. What you might want to do is instead of running Laboon, there are other cards you can run, like One-Legged Toy Soldier. You could run One-Legged Toy Soldier. You could run Hajradin. Look these cards up if you have to, guys, or ask in the comment section if you don't know what I'm saying. And for Finger Pistol, I will say this one, it's a little bit rough. We can't quite replace this yet, but what you could do is go up more black holes in the time for the time being, and then maybe go up, let me see, for the time being, if you can't afford the Finger Pistols, go up 2 black holes, and then go up 2 of something like, what's it called? It's a 4-cost Truno Bastardo. It's not as good. Understand that. It's not. But it's for the time being, if you just need a card, if you just want to play the deck, you have an option there. Okay, really good stuff. Really cool stuff there. So now let's keep going. So that was Blackbeard. I think that's about all we're going to look at. Yeah. So Blackbeard, Marco. We will look at Razor just because this is, guys, I still always will recommend this list. I will still always recommend, look, and here's an OP091 one from Antonio Estrada Garcia. Look at this, guys. This is in the regionals in Mexico City. 19th place list, under $50. The most expensive card is Black Maria. The most expensive card next to that is what, this one? No, Porsche. Yeah, so Black Maria, Porsche, 1 Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. That's all you need. And then Reiju. That's it, guys. This is the deck that I recommend all new players. Blue Dofi and Purple Luffy are definitely up there, especially after the revision to Purple Luffy where you can drop the price down. But, guys, look at this, man. Blurple Reiju is insane, guys. Insane cost efficiency. And it does get some help in OP10, right? It gets a new Searcher, I believe. Or is that OP09? Let me see something. It gets, yeah, it's a Sanji. It's not this Sanji. It's a Sanji card, though. It is a new Searcher Sanji that it will have access to. So just, guys, keep your eye on this deck if you're trying to get into the game on a serious budget. It is hard to beat this right here. And this was OP09 getting top 20 in Mexico City Regionals. Okay, and, oh, Purple Yellow Pudding. Whoa, okay, we will look at Nico Robin just because this has been a little pet project of mine. At Mexico City, 29th place, 29th, I can't even talk right now, 29th place. Guillermo Trejo, 215 bucks for this, guys, and it's all, again, guys, it's usually all in one card. So you can make most of these decks we're looking at for like well under $150 if you just take out like 1 or 2 way overpriced cards and just put in budget replacements. But I will say this card is very good, obviously. But I'll tell you this right now, guys. I'm working on a deck right now with my buddy Mike. Me and Mike are working on a Purple Yellow Nico Robin deck. It does not run 4 Ace. And I know that was quite the tease, right? Well, show us the list, right? Because I bet it's way cheaper as well. But we'll work on that later, guys. You got to give me some time to set that up. And then it is running 4 Nami, guys. Yeah, $31 for this card. I'm telling you, you just need to get this card. You just simply need to get this card if you plan on playing yellow in the future. Okay, had to check something real quick. Okay, so we're good there. This deck looks awesome. I can't wait to mess around with this more. In fact, let's look at, there was one other one in the same tournament, 49th place by Jonathan Perez Zamora. Let's see his list. Roughly the same. It is very similar. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Okay, is that it? That's probably all we're going to go over today, guys. I'm sorry if I missed your favorite leader. Okay, we'll look at one more. One more Purple Black Luffy. We've got one by Joaquin Rosas Hernandez in the Mexico City, 53rd place. Yeah, I was going to say, I know this deck's expensive. It is running the Mr. 2 Boncray Benthams, but if you take these 3 out, the deck goes down to the average price range. Just replace these for the time being with Basil Hawkins, and you're actually sitting pretty, right, guys? Like, the rest of this deck's not as expensive as I thought. It is running the Sanji. Gecko Moria is still cheap. It's only running 2 of these, and it's running 4 of the time skip Luffy's, guys. Really cool stuff. Make sure to keep an eye on that. All right, we're done. That's where we're going to end this one, guys. Let's go ahead and get over to a quick game on the sim. We always have to end at least with 1 game on the sim. And hey, speaking of Purple Yellow Nico Robin, right? We got this one right here that we're going to be playing against. Whoops, forgot to go full screen before I adjusted it. Okay, so real quick, so volume is off, speed is on 2x. We got one quick game on the sim of Purple Yellow Pudding versus Nico Robin. Again, I've been really enjoying this Purple Yellow combo. It might be one of my favorite color combinations in the game. I love playing Purple Yellow Pudding. I love playing Purple Yellow Nico Robin, and I absolutely love playing Purple Yellow Croc, Lakers Croc. That deck, whew, man, that is so much fun to play. But so is Pudding. So we're going to go first here. We're going to play out our Pudding here. We search up a 10 cost, I believe, and they're going to pass. Now, we're going to use our leader effect, obviously. Attack in, reveal the top to us, a Sanji and a Viola. We're going to ramp a Dawn with that effect there, and then we're going to slam down a Perospero. Actually, we're going to do a search, just kidding. Because we didn't have the Katakuri. What am I talking about? Yeah, guys, we were missing a very important piece of the puzzle, right? We were missing the 6 cost Katakuri. You have to get that 6 cost Katakuri if you want to go first and get to 10 Dawn faster than anyone else. So right here, guys, we're actually going to do something a little aggressive, playing out the Flampe, taking our top card. Why do we do that? So you might be asking, so why did I do that? So hear me out. A good player will not swing on this turn into me so that I cannot ramp to 10 instantly. But now, since I play out the Flampe and I'm down to 1 card on top of my deck like that, now they can't stop me from ramping to 10 Dawn next turn, right? I will ramp to 8 Dawn on my next turn so that I untap and get to 10 on the following turn. When they're still, you know, well, we'll see what they do. They might ramp as well. Okay, so it's their turn. They're going to play out Nico Olvia. They're just going to try to smash in and get some banish off. Yeah, there's an argument to 2K out of this, guys. Yep, and we're going to. We 2K to get out of that. They do ramp up to 5 Dawn, but so we're about, watch this, guys. We're on 6 Dawn. Play out the Charlotte Katakuri. We ramp a Dawn. We're going to swing for 5, ramp another Dawn, and now we are at 8 Dawn. Next turn, we will be on 10. They will be on, let's see. I mean, they will also go to 10, I believe. Well, no, they're on 5. So they will have to go to 7, ramp, and then they'll be on 10 Dawn. So they have to ramp this turn as well if they want to get to 10. To match us on speed. And by the way, not many decks can do that. Like, literally no other deck can do that except maybe a few. So they are going to ramp. They're going to, look at that. They trashed a Lilith, and they have a Monkey D. Luffy on the board. This might be a very spicy version here, running Egghead, running the Egghead stuff. We're going to poke for 5. We're going to poke for 7. We're just going to slam a 10 cost here, guys. Yep, swing 5. They took it. Swing 7. They got a blocker. They might want to use this blocker here, guys. Yeah, that made sense to me. And now we're going to play out. Watch this, guys. This is a little fancy here. Typically speaking, I think I would just play out. Yeah, I was going to say, I was about to play out the 10 cost purple Linlin, Kaido Linlin. I would not have liked that play. I don't think that would have been the right play, because as soon as I get rid of my Dawn, I can't even play out my 10 cost characters. Though it is still a very powerful play. Okay, so here we go. They're down to 1 life. We're up to 3. We have a 5. We have a 7K on the board. Okay, they're going to play out a Nico Robin, the 6 cost. I was expecting ace. I was expecting an ace on this turn, and I thought I was going to lose my Katakuri, but that ends up not being the case here. Let's see what they do now. They are in large amounts of trouble. They're going to go in for 9 at what? They really, okay, they're going at face here. So let's see what happens. We're just going to take it. Obviously, we can't get out of it. They're going to swing in for 6. We can 2K counter out of that, and here we go. So now they have 1 life left. Well, guess what? Slam down Linlin. That's gone. Swing 5, swing 7, swing 12. It's impossible to get out of this, and that is a good game, guys. That is GG. Yeah, they probably can't get out of the 7. Remember, guys, they were struggling to get out of it. So that turn, I think they should have played out the ace. So notice they maybe, unless ace was the last card they got or something. I don't know. Well, no. We trashed their last life card, right? I don't know, something like that. Whatever the case is, they should have played out ace if that was an option, or at least the Linlin, because purple Linlin in that situation could bounce my 6 costs off the board, so there goes one of my attackers. They gain a life, and they establish a body. Because who cares about me gaining life, right? Like, me gaining life, I can just continuously do that. Look at my hand, guys. I mean, I have 2 Linlins on the board right now, so I gained 2 life right there. I have a 9 Lin in my hand, and then I have a 10 Lin after that. Right, so it's like there's just nothing they can do to stop me from gaining life. So instead, why don't you just try to mitigate the board as best you can? Not saying they could have, not saying it would have been easy, but that's what I would have tried. Good game to my opponent, though. That was a fun one. My Nico Robin list looks a little bit different than that one. Okay, or maybe. I'm assuming it does, because I wasn't really running that Lilith and stuff like that. We'll have to see. Okay, good game to my opponent there. Let's look at the deck list we were just running real quick, and we'll wrap this whole show up here, this whole story up. So here we go. This is it, guys. 5 cost, you know, or excuse me, 4 life, 5,000 power, purple yellow pudding. Every time you attack, if you can turn the top 2 cards of your life face up, you can ramp a Dawn rested, and that's what makes this deck so good. You want to go first, so you start at 4 life, right? So on turn 1, just pass or play out some kind of search. You got pudding or Flampe. Do one of those, that's fine. But then next turn on 3 Dawn. Going first, you swing and ramp to 4 and put 2 cards up as active. And then on your opponent's turn, whatever they swing with, just take it. So you go down to 1 card left that's face up in your life. And then what ends up happening on the next turn is you turn the card face down with this effect to ramp a Dawn, and you swing for 6 and you ramp another Dawn. So going first, you get to 10 Dawn on like turn 4, which is insane, guys. Think about that. So in other words, you go from 1 Dawn to 4 Dawn to 8 Dawn to 10 Dawn. Seems good, right? Seems good. I run 2 of this card not because I want to play it, but the main thing I want to do is not miss a 9 or 10 drop play. So that is the number one thing. It's not so much that I love this card. You could put any card you want here. You could even put like a 9 cost Kaido, 9 cost Luffy. I mean, there might even be an idea to put like a Time Warp Luffy in here or something. I haven't messed around with something that crazy, but hear me out. I just don't want to miss my 9 or 10 drop spot. I want to ramp to 9 or 10 as soon as possible and be able to drop down my Linlin or this Linlin. These are the 2 main ones I'm going for, but the Kaido Linlin one is good as well as a last resort. Otherwise, this is a great card to pitch with this, to trash to, go plus 3,000 with You're the One Who Should Disappear. It's even a good card to trash or pitch with Parasparrow if you're just trying to get some tempo and you already have what you need in your hand. The big missing piece of the combo, other than like, okay, so you need a 9 or 10 drop, right? So make sure you try to get a 9 or 10 drop. But when you do your searching, this is the most important piece of the combo to do like the mega ramp. This card's good too. This card's fine if you don't get Charlotte Katakuri. This one kind of compensates in some ways, especially if you're going second. It's actually a great turn 2 play while ramping with your leader to get straight to 8 Dawn. But the thing is, that doesn't really help you that much like you might think, because we only have 9 and 10 cost characters, right? So hear me out. What I was saying was, if you go second, right? If you go second, okay, we swing with our leader to go to 5 Dawn, and then we play out the Bon Cray to go to 6 Dawn. Well, do it the other way around, so you swing for 6 with your leader, but you go up to 6 Dawn. So then you're going to 8 Dawn on the following turn. Well, that's nice and all. I mean, I guess we could play out a Katakuri potentially, but it's not really a strong play, right? That's not really like a crazy play. And if I were to ever make any revisions, any modifications to the deck, that is what I would be trying to do. I'd be trying to make it where we can fit in a really good 8 cost character. It could be Katakuri. Let me see something real quick. Let me just type in 8 and bring up purple and yellow. Yeah, okay, so in the future, maybe this card. So in OP10, maybe it will be like 1 or 2 Eustace Captain Kids. In fact, maybe that's what we end up doing. Maybe we end up dropping this card entirely, like drop that out and put in these 2. Like maybe that will be a good switch, a good exchange for what we're trying to do. I understand it's not searchable, but oh well, right? You got to pick and choose your battles when you're deck building, and sometimes cards just aren't searchable, right? Like for example, the 1 cost searcher Trafalgar Law. Let me find that real quick. Hang on. Like, I just want to bring it up so you'll know what I'm talking about. If you check out this card right here, this searcher is absolutely incredible, but there's one really important card that it can't search up. Gum Gum Giant, right? This card cannot search up Gum Gum Giant. So, like, it's one of those things where you have to, again, when you're doing deck building, you have to pick and choose your battles wisely, and when we get into OP10, maybe this becomes the card we replace the 10 cost Kaido with, in what I was doing, at least in the version that I'm running. Because like I said, it would just be really nice to have a really solid, clean 8 cost play to play out. And at that point, who knows, maybe we actually do go like this. Maybe we do go like 3 and 3 right here. I don't know. We'll have to see. We've got time to figure that out. And actually, one more thing. Sorry, guys. One more thing I have to mention while we're on it. At that point, maybe we get rid of this searcher that I'm running, and maybe we run the 2 cost event. The Brand New World, or the yellow one I think is called Us. Yeah, maybe we run one of these events where we could just search up whatever we need to on the top of our deck, with a few exceptions. We won't be able to get the pudding or the Parasparrow, but any of the low end stuff, but pretty much everything else. So there might be some merit to trying this out in the future. All right, that's it, guys. I'm done yapping. This video ended up going for about an hour and 15 minutes almost. That's crazy. I didn't expect it to be like that, but hey, we had a lot to talk about today. We had a whole lot to talk about. All right, guys, appreciate everybody for sticking around this long. For those who did, please do not forget to use the affiliate link, guys, if you're going to be buying cards on TCG Player. It helps me out big time. It doesn't charge you extra. It just gives me a little bit it just kind of, it gives me 3% of whatever the sale is. You don't have to pay anything extra. So, big shout out to everybody who supports the channel, guys, whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, using the affiliate link, contributing information on Red Yellow Sabo, like, data and stuff like that. And just whatever it might be, right? And just being part of the community. I appreciate everybody. Thank you to everybody who bought the playmat. Big shout out to the VV Pirates playmat supporters. Big shout out to the the VV Pirates YouTube members now. I have to update this list soon. There's more have hopped in since then. And then last but not least, to the patrons. Big shout out to the VV Pirates patron page. Thank you guys so much for donating to the channel and just helping me out in whatever ways possible. Really appreciate it. All right, we're done, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. Till next time, peace.